Right, let's make sense of it. Let's start with Luis Diaz's goal. In the first half, Manchester United didn't have a shot, let alone a shot on target, and Liverpool were dominant, but this was the only opportunity they managed to convert, Jamie.
Yeah, it's a good piece of play. Nunez wins the initial header, just deflecting it into an area. You can see that Diaz, Mainoo's trying to block Virgil van Dijk, and Diaz finds himself in a really good position. You see, he opens his body up, manages to hit it into the floor. Really good finish. Nothing more than they deserved. I mean, at 23 minutes, they dominated the game, looked very comfortable. But as you know, any time you come to Old Trafford, it's always going to be difficult. Chances are going to come about, and this is exactly what happened in the second half.
The player who seems to turn up most often for Manchester United at big moments, certainly over the last few years, has been Bruno Fernandes. And it wasn't necessarily reflective of his all-round play, but again, he was there at the big moment, Roy.
Yeah, it's a huge mistake, obviously. Listen, a young defender, but I think only Bruno could have finished that chance. He's obviously anticipated, again, players playing blind passes, really bad habit. But for Bruno to still punish him with that brilliant finish, the way he struck the ball, he's obviously got that technique, he's fantastic at it. And a gift, but only Bruno, I think, could have finished that.
Kelleher's lucky, because if he handballs that, he'll get sent off.
Because he's out of the area.
He's outside the area, so would you rather, you know, than just have 10 men? Who knows what would have been the best way to do it, but it was still a big risk from him. Great piece of play, as Roy rightly says, by Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, capitalising on the mistake, as you said, by Jarell Quansah. But at that stage, if they had gone down to 10 men, Liverpool, or if they conceded the goal as they did, it still felt as though they'd had enough, or they'd shown enough in the first half to be able to go on and win this game. And yet it went in completely the other direction.
Kelly, I was sat, I don't know how many years ago now, when Makeda scored a very similar goal to this. I was sat in this box watching it, and it felt like a massive moment. It was a very similar sort of finish. Mainoo starts it, he takes it on the half-turn there, doesn't look up, and then just bends that one with such pace and venom into that corner. It's a brilliant individual goal. Great piece of play by a really
Not
fine
bad for a sitting midfielder, is it?
No.
You know, we've seen him scoring a few goals now, but the key for here is his first touch. Again, his awareness, quality to finish. Brilliant goal, absolutely amazing strike, and you're thinking, listen, again, we were shocked. We think, could United actually win this game? But they couldn't hang on.
But they had taken the lead, they'd taken it to 2-1, and then it was a penalty that allowed Liverpool to pull level. Any thoughts on the incident that led to...
That's a penalty. Harvey Elliott came on, made a real difference. Jarell Quansah, who made that mistake, brilliant there, gets his side back up the pitch, and a good piece of play. Now, I think when you analyse Wan-Bissaka, he's one of the best at slide tackles I've ever seen. He's got those go-go gadget legs, he sticks out, but this one he just gets wrong. Harvey Elliott's bright, he realises it, he dangles his right leg out and gets the penalty.
If there's an argument against it being a penalty, is it from this angle?
Yeah, but you can see, OK, he misses the ball here, but watch Harvey Elliott just plant his right leg there, he has nowhere to go, so that's where the foul is. He sort of hooks him, and that's why I think it is a penalty. It's not going to get overturned.
Yeah. It's a smart attacking play. He sucked him in, that was the pressure, and Salah once again, big moment. Oh, I said never in doubt. No, but Salah, again, was probably poor in his general play, but listen, you obviously fancied him with the penalty.
Well, Kobbie Mainoo talks well, he plays well, he scored a fantastic goal. What did you make of his all-round performance?
I thought he done well. It was a tough game for him, obviously, against a very good Liverpool team, but he's still learning. He's talking about the set pieces there, about doing better, but he scored a wonderful goal, and it's all about it's just how he copes now with I suppose the expectations he's had over the last few months and then playing with England. But he seems like obviously a really nice kid. He's got lots to learn and he'll only get better from these experiences. And to score against Liverpool, I know he's talking about not winning the game, but you could see, obviously, he's delighted to have scored and pity he wasn't the winner.
Well, there's a lot to rehearse in there, but you do get the feeling that Mickey van der Ven is going to have plenty of practice at receiving those Player of the Match awards. I mean, all-round performance and the difference he makes for Tottenham when he is fit and available is huge.
Oh, he's a fabulous player. I mean, 22 years of age. I think he's 23 next couple of weeks. Quick as lightning, great left foot. There's not many players I can't think of in world football that are better than him at what he does. Arsenal fans look at Saliba, who's a great young defender as well, but I think this guy's equally as good. He's got everything going for him. You can see the difference when Spurs lost him, when he had his hamstring injuries. I think if he stays injury-free, there's no reason why he can't almost emulate what Virgil van Dijk's done. You know, when Virgil was at a similar age, Virgil wasn't producing the performance that he is right now. He's only going to get better, as long as he doesn't get too many injuries along the way, because that can affect with the hamstrings and the speed that he's got. But he's a top player, he really is.
He also said that when the ball was coming to him from the goal, if it comes to me, I'm just going to bang it. Do you have any more to add in terms of analysis?
No, nice, very simple and very effective, yeah. When he found this up there, we can be critical of Forest's defending, But as soon as he struck it, and he got that time and space, he finished it like a striker. Poor from Forest, but what a finish. No chance for the goalkeeper. The power, the pace, beautiful strike.
There was power, there was pace, and there was a level of finesse as well, Jamie.
Yeah, it's what you want. As I say, when you've got a nice balance with Romero's a right-sided centre-back and him, there's not many with striker ball, and the lefties always do it better. They always look a lot cleaner when they strike the ball and the power that he possesses. He's an outstanding player, and they needed that second half. That was a goal that just calmed everything down. It came at the right time, and obviously then we saw another brilliant strike by Pedro Porro, equally as good.
Yeah, let's take a look at that goal for Pedro Porro. I mean, you mentioned it there, Jamie.
Yeah,
what was it you liked about it?
It's just good technique. It's never easy when it's coming across your body like this, but he strikes the ball really well. He's got to make sure you sort of drop that left shoulder a little bit and get a good strike on it, and he cuts across it, and it's just a really, really good strike.
Got to do better with the defending. So you got to try and stop the cross. Yates is out there, ends up doing nothing. But when there was no surprise. We know he's got a good technique. He's got a good strike in him, and again, like Jim, he's got his head over it. Lovely strike, nice and clean.
Tottenham will have been expecting to win that game. Certainly Tottenham fans will have been expecting that their team would win that one. But what did you notice from Nottingham Forest's performance in the first half to the second half?
They just never came out the second half. And obviously they had the momentum going into half-time, and Spurs probably wanted to get to half-time. Whatever the manager, obviously Spurs made a couple of changes. It was like chalk and cheese. They just couldn't get a grip. Again, we'll have to, instead of being too critical of Forest, and Spurs definitely picked up the pace. They scored 2 goals 10 minutes into the second half, and that obviously knocked the wind out of Forest. But they just never got going the second half. Lacked that real quality. They had a bit of pace in the first. They looked really threatening on the counter-attack. That was non-existent the second half.
Let's go back to those goals from the first half, starting with the own goal that got everything rolling, which came from Murillo.
Yeah, I mean, Werner, especially in the first half, the second half as well, he was getting in some good positions. Nico Williams couldn't handle him, and it's a good ball. And Danilo's in one of those positions where if you let it go, you don't know what's behind you. They can tap it in. He's obviously onside there. And he got into some really good positions, puts it into a dangerous area, whereas the defender just doesn't know quite what to do.
He's a nuisance to play against, isn't he, Werner? There's question marks about his end product and whatever his final pass, but he does affect games. He is a threat. Do you think he's better
wide or as a striker?
No, I think probably wide. I don't think he enjoys it so much when his back's to player and his hold-up play, but when he's in them wide positions, he is effective.
And he said he is enjoying it at the moment at Tottenham, and he's getting the chance to kind of show what he can do. Chris Wood has shown what he can do. He got the only goal of the game for Forest. He's in a fantastic streak of form with 9 goals in 10 games. Maybe not quite enough for Nottingham Forest at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he scores one there. It was an important goal for him. Destiny Udogie just gets caught. He's got to be very careful. He's done this a few times this season. Did it against Fulham a few weeks ago. You've got to follow runners. No one wants to run back towards their own goal, but he has to do better. Look, Langer plays a 1-2 on him. Poor defending. And then once the ball comes to Chris Wood, it's a really good finish. He had a great chance to make it 2-1, which would have put a completely different spin on the game. But that's a good finish. With Roy, this one, he just tries to lever it.
Yeah, we were praising him. Yeah, bang it in. But again, we're surprised with strikers are there. You know, the missed chances. Yates does well. Keeper, good save. But these are big moments. These are big moments in a game. And again, Forest look really sharp going forward, particularly the first half. And Wood is a decent striker. Will obviously be certainly disappointed with that opportunity. Again, he has to score.
It also changes the whole momentum of the game, Jamie, because at that stage, you know, Forest were feeling, like you said, their tails were up. Yeah,
and the Spurs fans were getting a bit edgy. You could see a couple of players were making individual mistakes. And that's why I like what he did, the manager. As I said, sometimes you don't know whether it's tactical or what, but he just changed it. Brought 2 players on. He said, this isn't good enough. I've got to mix it up a little bit. Fresh impetus. And the second half, they were much the better for it.
But a degree of sadness as well, as the family of Joe Kinnear, their former player, announced that he had died after a long illness. Dementia was diagnosed in 2015. It was a long and varied career, Jamie, but probably best remembered for that time at Wimbledon, where he took them as high as 6th in the Premier League.
But a crazy gang, yeah, incredible character. Obviously a football man through and through, long history in football, and yeah, it's incredibly sad to see. He had obviously with Republic of Ireland as well.
Yeah,
didn't
of course,
he?
yeah, very sad. I had a brilliant career as a player, and obviously as a manager. And he certainly, I wouldn't say I've ever come across him, but he certainly looked a bit of a character. And yeah, very sad news.
Yeah, there'll be fans of lots of clubs sharing Joe Kinnear's stories this evening after his family announced that he had died at the age of 79. Ange Postecoglou echoing the thoughts of many Spurs fans when he says that Joe Kinnear will be remembered fondly and warmly at the football club, who are on the verge of Champions League football. They're certainly in pole position in terms of qualifying for the Champions League next season. But he said he's not too interested in the race. But I think this is quite interesting from a manager's point of view, because when Ange Postecoglou was saying this at the start of the season about what they could achieve, he said, look, we just need to go out and we just need to win whatever's in, and we need to beat whoever's in front of us. At this stage of the season now, with just 7 games to go, do you start to talk more openly normally about the targets that you have in front of you?
Yeah, well, he seems to be agitated the last few weeks, and obviously people have been asking about Champions League. He says, no, the bigger picture, we just want to keep winning football matches and take it in our stride, and that's fine. But when you think where they were at the start of the season, the Keane scenario, he's new to the club, he has done a brilliant job. He has done a brilliant job. The amount of games they've won, in with a great chance, obviously the Champions League, their style of football, the freedom he seems to be giving the players, and the way he's come across in the media, I think he's done a brilliant job.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Roy said. I think Roy's nailed it there. He's come in and he's changed the mentality of the club. They were unwatchable. I've said it before, they're unwatchable for a few years, Tottenham. And he's come in, brightened the place up. They've made good signings. There's a real belief in the way that they play. He talks a lot about next season. I think if they bring some players in, they're going to be even better next year. They've got a nucleus of a really good young squad. You know, I talk about Van der Ven, who's top quality. Maddison's been a really good signing. Yeah, very impressed. Nothing but positivity, really. And then to get in the top 4, which I think they're pretty much guaranteed Champions League football. I can't see Man United going on a run. It would be a capitulation from Tottenham if they don't get top 4 right now. And as much as he said he doesn't want to know doesn't want to be involved in the title race, Spurs are going to decide where the Premier League trophy goes. They've got to play all the top 3.
Well, he says he doesn't care who wins the race for the Premier League title, but I'd imagine there's a fair few Spurs fans who will be looking at that North London derby and thinking they'd quite like to have a say in it.
Absolutely. And we've seen what it's like today, and Spurs are a lot better team than Manchester United are. How difficult they're going to make it for Arsenal. I think that Spurs, whether they can beat them, I don't know, but I certainly don't think that Arsenal will go there and win. I think they will drop points there because it's such a difficult place to play. They're playing good football, they're exciting, there'll be a massive atmosphere there. So there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. And you look at about the 5th of May, they've got to go away to Liverpool. Spurs are a good side on the counter. And then obviously Manchester City, which is going to be arranged maybe last midweek of the season. We'll see. But there's some really important games, and they are in good form and they're full of confidence. In good form,
and as he said, welcoming back a lot of players. He has pretty much a full squad to choose from now, he said.
Yeah, and he made the point there why he made a change at half-time. He felt he needed some more energy into the team because of the schedule they've had, and it's great for any manager when you look at your bench or the players who are even outside of the squad, who's available with the last few games coming up and the injuries, and you want good options, and he's certainly got good options.
Well, Nuno Espirito Santo says you can see plenty of fight from his Nottingham Forest side as they head into this relegation battle, the latter stages of this relegation battle, but not too happy with the level of fight shown by James Maddison. He thinks this should have been a red card. Do you?
No, not really. No, I don't think so. I think, again, I said it earlier, I know Yates, nice lad, but all this type of behaviour, he does a lot of this. I don't like the look of it. He's asking the official to look at VAR. There's no need for him. He's a tough boy. He likes to give it out. If you're going to give it out, you've got to take it. I think it's a bit dramatic the way he goes down there. Get on with the game and just toughen up a little bit.
Jamie, what do you think from James Maddison?
Same as Roy, yeah. You've got to be very careful in these situations because... But, no, I don't think it's a red card.
I've seen it described as a punch. Would you go along with that?
Well, I don't know, Roy?
No, not in my book. No, I don't see that as a punch. No,
it's a tickle for you, isn't it?
A bit of a
cuddle.
A coming together. That's the way I look at it. And I just think players, you have to respect each other, and especially if you play in the middle of the park. And I see Yates all the time, and he gives it out. He does like to tackle people, and if someone gives you a little shove or a little, hey, come on, you got to play that game. You know, if you're gonna give it out, you've got to take it.
They are only out of the bottom 3 on goal difference, Nottingham Forest. there was maybe an opportunity here. As he said, there were that was one of the two big moments that Nuno Espirito Santo mentioned in the first half in particular, that maybe could have changed the direction and the outcome of that game against Tottenham. But they've got big games coming up. It's not been a good weekend for them in terms of results elsewhere. That's hurt them.
Yeah, it's been tough. It was always going to be tough for Forest going to Spurs to this. Listen, Spurs are a good team. We saw that particularly in the second half. They're on the back of a good result against Fulham. So you're looking at Forest again, you're thinking it'll be their home form that maybe just will keep them up. But it's...
The problem is that they're facing the teams that are around them in Everton, Sheffield United and Burnley, but they're going to be away from home.
Yeah, and that's all part of the challenge. And obviously he's gone to Wolves. He used to manage Wolves. There's always different scenarios with every game. You got Everton. Listen, Everton they're up against it. But I still think Forest physically and with the attacking options they have, yeah, they didn't show up the second half today. But I think they have enough quality and physicality to get over the line. But it'll be very, very tight.
The last three games are not too bad as well. We look at Sheffield United and Burnley that might be relegated by them. Obviously, we don't quite
Sheffield
know.
United took a point off Chelsea earlier today as well.
Where would Chelsea have been a relegation fight if it wasn't for Cole Palmer? I mean, he's been that important for them. So, yeah, it's... And we do it every year. We look at fixtures, and I did it as a player myself. You start to go, well, that looks like a three-pointer there. We should be fine there. And it's the one you least expect. So, Man City lost last year at Nottingham Forest 1-0. Anything can happen. It could be the same again this season.
What do you think this has done to Liverpool's title chances?
I think because of the manner that they played, especially first half, and the chances they created, it has to be 2 points dropped. And you've given... I mean, you'd have looked at it on the basis that if Liverpool could have won the rest of their games, if they'd have won today, they win the title. Now it's not in your hands anymore. But there's going to be still twists and turns. I'm convinced by it. We've got Champions League football to play. You know, the two teams, Manchester City and Arsenal, got tough games. They're going to be maybe if they pick up a couple of injuries, what that can do to the team. You maybe tinker with what you're trying to do. You're trying to manage a Champions League win and also the Premier League. The managers are going to play a big part. Jurgen's done it, Pep's done it, Mikel Arteta hasn't done it yet. But having looked at it with the point, you know, obviously much better goal difference and the point with Arsenal
have a better goal.
I feel you have to really make Arsenal favourites right now on that basis. They're in good form, they're defending well. Teams look like they can't score past them right now. But I look at that game when they go to the London to the Spurs to White Hart Lane. Is White Hart Lane now?
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I think that is going to be the game. I really believe that. And if Arsenal can go there and get 3 points, they'll certainly deserve to win the title. But I believe that is a pivotal match for them.
Opta make Manchester City the favourites with a 40% chance of winning the title. Then it's Liverpool on 31 and Arsenal, who currently are in top spot in the table, a 29% chance. Does that seem fair to you, Roy?
I'm not really sure. I don't think that certainly wouldn't bother Arsenal if you're... Do you know what? I try and put myself in each camp here. And
it's a prediction rather than a prophecy,
isn't
it?
Course, yeah, I get that, Kelly. Yeah, no, I think if you're in... Do I look, if I was in the Arsenal camp, I'd be quite confident that we'd win the league. But I'd also be in Liverpool's camp today. I wouldn't panic so much. You take the draw when you're a goal down with 5 or 10 minutes to go. You take the draw. And also, if I was in City's camp, I'd be quite comfortable. I have to say, I think all the three teams must fancy their chances. And when people talk about the difficulties of the remaining games, winning league titles is meant to be difficult. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be hard. You have to put everything into it. You need a little bit of luck. You need your top players' performance. I wouldn't take too much notice of this percentage stuff. Who could win it? Because you look at the games and the performance over the weekend. As I said, I'd still be comfortable to be any of the camps that are going for that title.
Roy, you've been there and done it. If you could be in one dressing right now, where would it be?
I'd probably go with... I'd be probably more comfortable probably in the City dressing room.
Because they've done it.
Just that bit. And even their reaction to last week and, you know, they've really used their squad over the last few games. They've scored 8 goals in 2 games. I know they've conceded a few soft goals. But really, from that experience, and because of Pep and people like De Bruyne, I'd probably want to be in City's camp. But I'd also look at Arsenal the weekend, and they're big and strong, and they're scoring goals, they're solid at the back. And I wouldn't be so bad to be in the Liverpool camp. If you're asking me, I went with Liverpool last week. Am I allowed to change my mind?
Yes. Change your mind next week again if you want.
When you look at those fixtures, Roy, if there's one team that you think could win,
I think Man City will win all their games there.
Well, that's probably what's being factored
Yeah,
into the percentage chances
that's
of
exactly. But that
winning
doesn't mean
it.
to say it's going to happen, of course.
No.
But I just think with City's track record, the way the players, the squad they've used, even bringing in a couple of younger players over the weekend. But of course, there's challenges ahead again. Jamie's mentioned there with Champions League and whatever injuries that might come up. And you look, of course, and Arsenal going to Spurs is a huge game, without a doubt.
And that's what we're factoring into this. It's not just the quality of the opposition, but all the emotion that comes into it, the fact that Champions League, Europa League football is going to come into it and the effects that might have. That's before you even start to look at injuries, plus previous experience in title races. And that maybe is why City are many people's pick to be the team that can win their remaining games. Now, obviously, if either Liverpool or Arsenal also do that, it's out of City's hands. But if they're the team who are most likely to do that...
But it's never been done 4 years in a row. There's a reason for that, because of the demands and the other teams up around you. Obviously, look at Arsenal, the hunger they must have to win that title. Again, the disappointment for Liverpool today, how they recover from that. All these, as you said, that emotional roller coaster you have to deal with, and that's where the managers come into it. Who can handle it? Like Klopp again after the game today, I thought he was spot on. That vast experience. Yeah, we're disappointed, but we'll cope and we'll roll with it, and there's plenty more games to be had. That's where these managers, brilliant world-class managers, and Arteta probably still has to get to that level of the other two managers, but he's doing a brilliant job, and he's got that hunger. That's why it's intriguing with these personalities of these managers who can get them over the line and deal with the disappointments if you do have one. Just like Liverpool will have to deal with the disappointment today. But as I said, I've been there when you come after a game and players are disappointed, but you might look back and go, lads, when you're a goal down with 5-10 minutes to go, don't be that disappointed with a point. Whatever about the performances.
That might be the point that wins them the title. Who knows? That can happen. You might look back at this a moment of what a big point it was. I mean, in terms of the title race, and you look at Jurgen Klopp and the way that he's managed it today, it would have been easy for him to maybe come and say, yeah, it was 2 points dropped, but he doesn't want to put the pressure on his players. He wants to take it away from them, and that's why I think he's a genius, and he handles the press so well. He handles his players, the emotions, and that's why this is the best Premier League title race we've ever seen. We've got three runners, three fantastic sides, great players, managers. This is going to go right to the wire. I can even see it going to the last day. That helicopter, the trophy in the sky.
The dynamics of all the managers.
Perfect.
Pep, one of the greatest managers of all time. Klopp's done an amazing job at Liverpool, and again, he's leaving. The emotion side of that. Arteta's done a brilliant job at Arsenal in terms of winning the FA Cup, rebuilding last year, heavily criticised, saying they bottled it and all this type of carry-on. They've regrouped, recruited really well in the summer. Three really outstanding players have come into their club and have made them a lot stronger, and they're very much in the mix. But we go back to it. It could be goal difference. It could be a refereeing decision. It's so exciting. 3
teams, 1.7 games to go. For Manchester United, Erik ten Hag said, this is progress. We have young players. You need to be able to see that what we're building here is something.
Listen, I don't know what he's had. Obviously, a couple of glasses of wine after the game. I don't know how strong that is, but he seemed really upbeat, and I admire for it because he's obviously seen something that I'm not seeing at this moment in time. I'm not saying there's not potential at the football club or with these young players, but in terms of competing with Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool, they are way off it. They're competing at this moment in time with Aston Villa and Spurs for that 4th or 5th position, and at this stage, they're well behind them. So I don't get his positivity. But maybe that's just me. Maybe obviously been a bit old and grumpy. But he's upbeat. But I certainly didn't see that upbeat performance. I thought 2 very good goals from Man United and a team that hung in there and stuck at it, and I give him credit for that. But if you're looking at the bigger picture, I'm not sitting back here and going, listen, Man United are on the way back. Far from it.
What did you see in that performance?
I just saw a lot of fight. I thought Liverpool, again, giving Man United a chance to get back into it. United did score 2 brilliant goals. Listen, the first one was a mistake, but you still have to be punished. And then you got the second goal was outstanding, but they're giving up 2 soft goals from set pieces. Again, they lost the game the other night with a set piece at Chelsea in the last minute. So all these bits of their game, they've got to tidy up. They're playing moments. I'm not sure it's a real team out there. I can't sit here and go, I think next year Man United will be challenging for league titles. I just can't see it. There's big expectations with recruitment in the summer and new people coming in. But there's a long way back from Man United.
It's very difficult to sort of... Roy's right. You can't... After watching Man United's last few games, I watched the game on Chelsea in midweek and I watched the Brentford game, was as devoid of any belief and confidence in the team. You know, I've met any Manchester United team I could think of. So for him to say that, it's hard to buy into it. Of course, he wants to keep his job. He knows right now he's under a lot of pressure. Man United may be looking, you know, for a manager to come in. What I will always say is, it's all right saying get rid of him, but who do you bring in? That's always the difficulty. So if he gets another opportunity to do it next year, of course he'll be buzzing. He'll look at the young players. Look at Mainoo's goal today and what he can bring. Cambrala came in and I thought was fabulous, considering he hadn't played a lot of football. But these are what Man United for so long have been brought up on. Great young talent. You know, Garnacho's obviously involved as well. There is talent in this squad, make no mistake, but they've got to do a lot more, and they can't carry on being as inconsistent as what they are.
The facts are there, Jamie. Again, there's no doubt they've got talented players. Look at this. This is brilliant. You couldn't even dream of doing something like that. Amazing. But you need more than that. You need those characters. You need the leaders. I keep obviously repeat myself every week on here, but that's not you. That's what you need from a group of players. The way Man United are playing is like a mid-table team, a small club. You don't know what you're going to get. There's a bit of excitement, but if you want to win the big prizes or compete to win the big prize, you've got to turn up week in, week out. And these players don't. The stats will tell you that. They've lost 12 games.
Goal difference.
The goal difference. Man United after what? Is it -1 or whatever? You know, nowhere near good enough.
But that problems with injury. Martinez comes in, makes a big difference at the back. But that's not the be-all and end-all, you know. And today, when I look at the players they had in midfield and going forward, Man United never looked like they're ever controlling the game. I never watch them and think that they're really in control here. They're going to pass the ball. When you watch Manchester City or even Liverpool, they have a different style. But they look in control of what they're trying to do. With Man United, I struggle to find out really what their direction is. Was he going to get given time? Only they know. Who knows? I mean, there's always pressure. If you're going to manage Manchester United, there's pressure every single day, not just every week.
Do you think that Erik ten Hag's future depends on what happens between now and the end of the season, Roy?
Yeah, well, I think this season he's under pressure, and you think that top 4, top 5 is out of reach now. Can they win the FA Cup? Is that enough? I'm not sure. I would never sit here and question, you know, managers' futures or whatever. But he is under huge pressure. Of course he is. Of course he is. That's the nature of the beast. You manager Man United. The expectations there. Last year you said, oh, if they get top 4 and they win a cup and they got it. And this year, it doesn't look they're going to get top 4. They get the FA Cup, would that help save his job? I don't know, because that won't be easier, because obviously Man City are still involved.
I think what you always want as well as a club is you want progression. Now, so if you looked at where Liverpool were last year, we had a really poor season, and how quickly Jurgen Klopp has changed that by bringing in players. They've been brilliant in their recruitment. You look at what McAllister brings in midfield. He's been fabulous in there. There's been some really good signings. They're bringing young players into the squad. There's just a difference, and that quickly, in the blink of an eye, Liverpool are now contending for a title, whereas Manchester United have gone backwards in this period. So for him to be as bullish, I don't quite understand. He's got to finish the season really well and just hope that they go, OK, we'll give you some games next season and just see how you get on. But as I said before, it's not that easy to find elite managers like Klopp and Guardiola and these types. They're hard to find.
Jamie, Roy, thank you very much for your company today.